Okay. Finally. Wow. What a morning. All right. Well, I apologize for everyone. That one was, we had some, we had some challenges with technology. I got a new laptop, and I've ran into every possible thing. I guess I didn't realize how dialed my old system was. Well, let me throw out a Twitter action thingy real quick here, and I'll let everyone know that we're now live. So I do apologize about that. Let's see. So you guys should just see my screen, so I'll log into Twitter and share so people can. All right. I'm not sure if I'm actually live here. Just going to jump into Twitter real quick. Let everyone know what's up. All right. Let me get up the data file and get that going. Apologize. So I got a new laptop, and I'm just trying to get all of the software up and running. Today I was dealing with Python. I couldn't get the Python plotter to work. It's working now. Apparently, I never have had to do this, but I had to do like pip install, do the normal Python manual pip install. In this case, I was installing serial and matplotlib, but I had to add -- user. I've never had to do that before on a laptop before. So I don't know if it's Windows 10 is giving me trouble. I have to add the -- user. I have a virtual environment, all that stuff. I have no idea why it did that to me. All right, so let's do this. Let's add. Cancel. Let's add a window capture. Okay, we're going to capture. Okay, well, next issue. I don't see my window there available. That's great. one of those mornings. All right, window. Let's just delete that. We'll do it live. We're doing it live. Oh, we're in the universe. Okay, that would probably work, but I don't want to do that. All right, well, this is fun. So I have the Python up here. I can see it. I don't know why I can't add it to OBS Studio now. I can see Firefox Explorer. Still only can see that automatic. Capture cursor, no. Okay, that's weird. I can't capture the window that's open in Python. I can't why does that not work? Oh, I apologize. Volume is a bit low, they say. Well, we can fix that. That's easy. This is what happens when you get a new laptop. All right, let's fix the volume. So I can do that quickly. So let's go to Advanced Audio Properties. We'll turn up the gain a little bit. How's that? Is that better? Can you hear me okay? Also, the world's smallest Coke can. Or I'm a giant, one of the two. All right. I'm trying to figure out why OBS Studio will not let me capture the command prompt. have to do it a different way, I guess. It won't be as pretty, but for some reason I can't get the window capture mode. Let's see if I can do media source, scene, game capture. Let's try game capture. Maybe it's listed as a game capture. Capture a specific window. There we go. Python 1, figure 1. No, that didn't work. But at least it shot the window. Stupid OBS Studio. I apologize. I'll get it here figured out in a second. I just... Browser. I had browser support. Now we don't want that. That's not what we want. I just don't understand why I can't grab. Like it doesn't see anything but Explorer windows. What the heck? Let's see, the OBS Studio. All right. Well, this is awesome. More technical issues. Got the CPC working. I get that work, but I can't see the OBS Studio. Won't show window. All right, system preferences. Oh, this is for Apple. Let's do this. All right, so apparently there's a system setting here. Let's go to File, Tools. Let's see. Settings. Privacy. Let's see, I gotta go to System Preferences. Well, this is not helpful. Well, I can't get the stupid thing to plot. So you guys can't see my plot. Otherwise I have to show my whole desktop, which then makes it a little harder to navigate because I'm working around all this stuff, but I might just have to do it anyways. All right, we'll just do the full desktop. But then I can't see myself in OBS Studio, which is sometimes nice to be able to, or I jump on the YouTube comments and jump around in my browser. That's random. So, let me Google this for a second here. I apologize, but the way life goes. Plus, these things are just for documenting data. I'll make a nice video. I've been working on that. All right. Why does this not work? So I need some option to enable. Ah, I figured it out. Okay. That is not clear to the average person. Let's see. There we go. All right. So, for those that are new to the OBS world, ooh, I'm shrinking. That was not clear to me at all. So I'm going to move myself. Was you can't select it unless it's not. If it's minimized, you can't select it for a window. Well, that doesn't always make sense to me, but all right. So that makes sense as to why we're having that problem. All right, let's pull out the mask testing database. I'll go like this. All right. Now we're cooking with gas. All right, window capture. Testing data set. Yeah, there we go. We're going to shrink this window down a little bit so we can work on it. There you go. We'll just slide that down here. Let's see, can we hide that? Gives us a little bit more space to work with. And we are going to, I think, just make it a little wider here. Why not? We got more screen space. Shrink it this way. Yeah. Alright, that'll work. How's it? Let's see. Nice. Alright. Hey! Technology! It works sometimes. Oops, let's not do that. Go back on there, please. I see, it's like shrinks it up. Interesting. Alright, I think everyone can see everything. Oh no, you can't see everything. Alright, what's going on here? We're going to just shrink this up for today. Thanks for reminding me. Alright, I can't see the full screen, so let's shrink it down a little bit more here. Can we see it now? Nope, still can't see it. There you go. Okay, now we can see. So I just got a little bit of a smaller screen, but that's okay. So, now that we're up on the studio, we got everything going. We are finally there. Hey, all right, let's answer some quick questions while I drink this, and we'll do our checkout. So we should have the CPC connected right now. No particles present on our HEPA capsule filter here, so we're going to pop the HEPA capsule filter off. And it's just going to look at background counts in the room right now. There we go. Up we go. Not a ton here right now. It's a pretty low background count. About 350 particles per cc. So it's a rainy day, so usually that's what you would expect to see. So now we got some count. So the zero count filter worked. We'll kick our generator on, bring the concentration up. We got the usual 16% by mass, so 8 grams of salt in 50 grams of water concentration. So in the past, that's given us about 64 nanometer count median diameter aerosol, which seems to correlate really nicely with the Niosh method. I mean, part of it's luck, but so far the data seems to be pretty accurate for this particle size between all the right combination of things, such as my breathing rate, which is typically lower than 85 liters per minute, but a harder particle, but as worn, like you add up all these things, and somehow all the factors kind of balanced out to make a pretty comparable method there. So we'll get that concentration up. I'm just watching that. You can see it's starting to come up here. Get the fan on. I'm going to close this and restart it. So let's see. If I go to command prompt and I press up again, it should hopefully pop back up. There we go. All right. So according to this, we're already at 20,000 particles per cc. So I'll let it go a little bit higher. Let this room mix up a little bit. Let it stabilize here for a little bit, and then we can get started. I'll answer quick comments while we wait for that to happen. Let's see if I can jump over there. There we go. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Good morning, morning. Good morning, good morning. Good morning this morning in the news this morning. Good morning. All right. So we've got the sound volume. Kaylin Inwood said, can we talk about elastomeric respirators today? Did that offer greater protection? How about we test a couple? Some good morning. Volume sounds good. UVC sterilization for the fog masks to avoid washing. Sure, I guess. I mean, I haven't really messed with the UVC stuff just because it has more complexity. For COVID, we're not too worried about that. Washing the fog mask is a problem, but you can only wash. You can't really wash the fog mask. Fog masks actually updated their cleaning recommendations now. Now they recommend just to rinse it under hot water. So no soap or anything, because I think their data kind of was probably mirroring mine, showing that if you wash it with soapy water enough times that you saw performance degradation of the filter media. So now they're just saying no soap, which makes sense. I'm not surprised that they don't want to use a soap. It's a surfactant. When you wash with soap, it can cause the fibers to clump, and then your effective fiber density goes down because they all get clumped together, which reduces filtration performance. So that's not atypical. Ken Kirshner says, hi, we're working on a next-gen respirator. What stage of development is the best to have you take a look? Probably as early as possible. So Ken Kirshner, you should send me an email. Yeah, do it early. I know of surprise. Okay, so buy and bulk mask. Jimmy Claw 99 had to do his FE exam. What is FE? Final exams, college final exams. And he didn't get COVID, and he thinks that it's because of my mask recommendations. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Good masks do help prevent the spread of COVID and help protect you from getting it yourself. Yes, I do record in my bathroom, so thanks, Kinski. Kinski? Frog-shaped icon. Can you crop the full desktop? Yeah, someone's helping me trying to figure out how to get OBS working. Summer in Minnesota is short. It is very short. That's why I've been busy living life a little bit. We'd like to see more interviews. Sure, we can probably make that happen. I just have been extremely busy. I'll have a big project to announce here in a month or so. I've just been very, very, very busy. You can tell by the lines under my eyes. I've been not in a lot of sleep lately. Let's see. Hello from Florida. Welcome, CFM McCarthy. How's your fence? Did you finish building it? It is done. Well, most of it done. The stuff that needed to fix is done. So that was a fun little 2-weekend project as it turned into. I thought I was just going to do one fence post, but then I kind of realized if you do one and the rest are kind of wobbly, then you might as well do them all. So I started doing that. Good websites to buy respirators from DA. I mean, Project N95 is great. Stuff from 3M, which you can get on Amazon or Home Depot. Magrid, Supply, Granger. I mean, any of the industrial supply houses for sure if you're after N95s. If you're after KF94s, Collect USA. Project N95 is also now carrying a lot of KF94s. There's, of course, specific suppliers like Powcom from Bonafide, or we'll be testing well before today. So there's a lot of places. I think the fake masks rates come down. Just don't buy random crap that you see on Amazon or eBay and Amazon, like something that's kind of stabilized and kind of created a market for itself. Cevu now has a U.S. distributor from Family Mask, which is really cool to see. So that's been exciting to see them kind of come in. I'm a big fan of the Cevus. I wear them myself. Really breathable. Probably one of the better earlobes I have, but we'll test them well before us today. They claim well before us saying that historically well before masks kind of had really poor breathability, and they're saying that they've gone to the other side, that they are now some of the more breathable masks out there. So we'll test that today and see if that's true. I tried them on, they're really breathable, so I think they kind of fixed the problem. How does activated carbon work exactly? Activated carbon is a sorbent. Effectively, the activated carbon, it has a huge amount of surface area, so it's porous, it has all these little tiny microstructures, and the volatile organic compounds get attached to the carbon. I guess I don't know the exact physics of why VOCs, these gaseous molecules, will attach to the carbon. I'm going to guess probably because there is some strong van der Waals, or probably chemical reaction. Maybe there's some reaction that happens, or maybe it just diffuses into the pores and then gets trapped. But either way, the volatile organic compounds diffuse into the carbon material and it traps it. Whereas particles wouldn't really do that well, and particles have different characteristics of how you can capture them. So we use activated carbon to absorb volatile organic compounds. I'm sure you can Google sorbent, S-O-R-B-A-N-T. Sorbent filters are what we're looking for on those. I don't really do too much with that just because in terms of COVID, or really in terms of respiratory protection from bioaerosols, we're not really worried about the volatile organic compounds. Is there any kind of nose clip product that can be used with a K95 mask? Buy a better KN95 if you're having. I mean, it depends. I mean, some KN95s just have weak nose wires. If you have a really weak nose wire, that's a problem. They do make adhesive nose wires that you can buy on Amazon that you can stick on top of an existing one. So that's one option that you can do. Otherwise, look at masks with really strong nose wires. Champac, I'm a big fan of, like, I'll be doing a review video, a longer format review video of like top breathable masks. Like the Champac bifold is really nice. And it's an N95, but you can also swap it to ear loops quite easily. Otherwise, check out like the Explorer 1750. That's a breathable mask with a pretty heavy nose wire. And I'll be testing a GVS N99. I think they make an N95 version, also heavy nose wire in bifold style. Any info on reusing? You can use your K95 if you wear makeup. That's fine. It's just gonna soil the inside layer. The melt blown sits between there. It's not gonna be a problem for it. So no issue with wearing makeup, other than that your mask is gonna be the color of your makeup. Hello from Indonesia. Hello to you as well. Someone had said, how does it work with air filters? Well, with carbon filters and air filters. So with air filters, you first pass the air through the fibrous filter material. That's going to collect all the particles, most all the particles. I mean, there's some range of particles that won't get captured. Basically, you're going to capture almost everything down to a few nanometers. And then as you pass through that filter, the volatile organic compounds don't deposit on the fibrous filter material. So then you have an activated carbon after that, and that will then begin to remove some amount of VOCs. And in an air cleaner, since it cycles the air through the room multiple times, you'll keep removing some level of VOC and driving it down. And so that's why you see some devices with activated carbon. Have you seen the Airhead respirator? I have not seen the Airhead respirator. There's a lot of masks. There's more masks than I can ever stay up on top of now. Although I think we peaked about 3 months ago, and we're starting to come down because I'm seeing a lot of mask companies close. Dean also over there. My cuz. Hopefully Washington, D.C. was fun for you, Dean. I missed you out here in Minnesota. We didn't. Some of the family came out, but it's a bummer we didn't get to see you. But I hope things are good there in California. What do you think about Ready Mask? I've tested the Ready Mask. It's good. It's an adhesive mask. It's a little. It's not the most pleasant to remove, but the adhesive part's nice, and you're definitely going to get a really good seal with it. So I do like the Ready Mask is an innovative way to make sure that you get a good seal. You can also use mask tape and things like that. It's just 3M. It's the same as toupee tape. I can't remember the name of the exact part number for that. But if you Google like 3M toupee tape, that's what they're using for mask tape. You can get it. It's very inexpensive. It's just like 1/2 inch or 1 inch wide strips that they cut. So you can use that. Can you test the RZ mask? I use a 2.5 version at work for particle removing during ASHRAE 52 testing, but always wear it during COVID with the valve covers. I have not tested the RZ mask. There's a lot of masks I probably won't get to all of them. I'm just trying to cover a wide base of the most common ones and the ones I like the most too. So I'm a little preferential on my own stuff. Yes, respirators and masks do work against wildfire smoke in terms of filtering it. You do get some VOC exposure if you're really close, but really we look at a lot of particle exposure and ozone too, but there's not much you can do about that. So there's not really much you can do about wildfire smoke anyways. If it's near you, what are you going to do? Move away and live somewhere else until the fire is done? So in general, wearing a good respirator mask will reduce your exposure to ultrafine particles and just some of that stuff. Any plans to test the Cevu Memories mask, or do you think they're probably some of the Cevus? I think the Memories mask, if I remember correctly, is just a different printing pattern. We'll test a bunch of Cevus today. I got a Hannah and stuff like that. I think, the reality is what you care about is like each variation of the mask is probably not going to be that much different than their existing. The question is Cevu a legitimate supplier of masks, and are they doing a good job? And so far what I've seen is yes. All the masks I've tested are legitimate, and oftentimes I buy them myself. So that's how we do that. Okay. Well, welcome, everybody. We answered the questions. I almost finished my Cook. Tasty little treat there. And I talked so long that the concentration came down, but we're still at 10K, and that's okay. Yeah, let's kick it on for a second here. While we wait, I'll get my mask ready, and I'll type in the document. Okay, so just so everyone's aware, we'll do the same standard procedure that we've done in the past. So historically, we have our Moldex N100 control. This is the one that's been hanging around. I've been using it every time since the beginning of this document, so it's almost 2 years old. Actually, I think it's almost 2 years old today. So happy birthday, Mask. You made it 2 years. We got the 8210. Now, I'm going to do something a little differently. This one is marked, if we can see, enhance, number 1, numero uno, because I'm bringing in a number 2. Same lot. They're both from 2168 because I have a bunch of these hanging around. So the same lot number, and they were packaged in the same box next to each other. I'm bringing it back because this number 1 is getting pretty loose and worn out. I've donned it so many times that you can just tell, like, just by the length of the head straps, like, if I, it's so stretched out. It's so much longer now, this number 1 here. So, like, the straps aren't very tight. So we'll introduce a number 2 control, and we'll have them hang around both together for a while, and then we'll DOS one. And then we got our Air Queen Nano control here. Usually get about 89%, but it is also slowly over time, if you plot it over time, and there's noise and variation from my testing procedure, but over time it is slowly going down too. So, these masks just, they're going to lose some performance over time. That one's 2 years old as well, so they're not going to last forever. All right. Concentration's up. Why is Coke so delicious? Such a delicious beverage. All right. I think we got audio set up. We got that set up. We'll just do a 0 count check again so everyone can see that again. So you just take that and connect it on there. So this is a HEPA capsule filter. Concentration is going to plummet down to 0. So there we go. We're down. We have 0 counts here. So 0 check, pull it off. We're going to go back up. Good day, good day. All right, let's do this thing. So 419 was the last time. Well, it was really 4 months ago. Feels like it was like just yesterday. And I just put, so let's do Moldex N100 control. Yeah, you probably don't want to. I put this on there because I had some people helping me edit this, and I had some people that had approval. I forgot they had approval, which is okay. And then they were making some changes and didn't notice it. That's okay though. I mean, mistakes happen. It's not the end of the world, but they did modify the document and we're sorting it. And then someone had asked me, "Hey, why are you doing all this weird sorting?" I was like, "I haven't touched it." And then I realized, oh, oops, someone did it. So I put a little reminder on there when people are working. All right, we'll give it a couple seconds here. Let this concentration stabilize, and then we will start with our N100 Moldex control. All right, we are stabilized at 2.914. 2.914 into 4. And I always love the Moldex N100 control because it's just a classic example that, yes, masks do work. Even against particles that are 64 nanometers in diameter. We're bouncing a little bit. We'll call it 2.9 particles. So pop the mask off. One thing I was kind of playing with over the last months is I kind of always wondered why the N100 Moldex, when I breathe out, that I was seeing more particles when I was breathing out than when I was normally. What I realized is that you have a dead volume in your lung, which actually comes back to a discussion about CO2 clearance in masks. A lot of people have been talking. There's one really bad paper that it's already been retracted by one journal, but somehow they got it published in another journal where they were showing that CO2 concentrations are insanely high. But one thing to remember is that the trap volume of the mask in front of you isn't the only dead volume in your body. In fact, your lungs have a large amount of dead volume as well. So dead volume drives a lot of things. And what can happen is when I fill the room with aerosol and breathe it in my lungs, I have this dead volume, so I have trapped particles in there. And so if I don't breathe out fully in my lung, 2.518 into the 4, those will slowly come out during the duration of the test. So it's kind of an interesting thing I didn't really think about, but was playing a little bit about a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. All right, come on, technology. All right, so we got 99.99%. All right, so let's copy this. So now we're going to do the 3M 8210 control, and we're going to say it's number 1. Because now that's how we're going to do that. N95 cup as worn, white head strap. And then we'll do number 2, and we'll just leave them in the document. Now, the beauty of live streaming and why I originally started live streaming is mostly, I know that some people like to follow along as I did it, it's really just an easy way for me to document everything I was doing so that if I had a question, or sometimes I even caught typos where I put the wrong cell in, I go back and look at data, and I'm like, that's weird, I don't remember that mask testing that poorly. I go back and look at the data, and sure enough, I had a typo, and I could see it live in the video what the real number was. So live streaming is pretty nice for that. So not always the most enjoyable for everyone hanging out watching, but that's the way it goes. Something asked about the sugar. Not sure. 2.384 E to the 4. 2.384 E to the 4. All right. Yes, I know that I'm going to be doing that. Let's go ahead and toss this mask on. All right, call there 163.7. Let's do it. Yes, don't remind me again for 5 minutes. All right, pull the mask off here. Cut that upstream concentration. Let's see. The response about why Coke was so tasty is because of the sugar, and yes, I agree. Well, it might be also the little bit of, but if I just had sugar and water, I wouldn't be as happy as that Coke. It's that little bit of bitterness, a little bit like that kind of, I don't know what exactly is in Coke. Maybe probably a little bit of acid in there and all that good stuff. Oh, it's just delicious. Someone said, thanks for all the testing with the help. I made it all the way to BA5 before getting COVID. Then wore a Cevu 24 hours a day for 10 days, and no one else in the family caught it. So thank you for, sorry that you got COVID. It's very, right now it's really difficult to avoid. I feel like I'm like dodging bullets left and right. I am still, me and my family have still managed to avoid it. But it is just impossible. I mean, it's just everywhere at this point. kind of what the strategy is going on nowadays, but craziness. But people will eventually realize what they need to do. It's only a matter of time. I keep telling myself that. It makes me feel less crazy. And I'm sure a lot of you out there are like, what? People still wear masks? Well, not people are watching this channel, but yes, I like you, also recognize the craziness of like everyone. I mean, I get it. The reality is I don't blame any individual for not wearing a mask or the issues around the pandemic. How would you know? How would you know that you're still infectious after 5 days? The CDC doesn't say that. The CDC never told you to wear a respirator. In fact, they said that you could just wear a cloth mask for the longest time. And as an individual, you did all the things you were supposed to do. You did all the things. You kept your 6 feet distance. You probably avoided doing excess trips in the early part of the pandemic. You got vaccinated. You got boosted. You did all the things you're supposed to do, right? So I don't blame. And then you get tired of it. Like your entire life sucks. You do all this stuff, and the entire pandemic is borne by your own sole responsibility. You're responsible if you get COVID, it's your fault. It's because you can't make the individual responsible for a public health issue. It doesn't work that way. It just makes people tired and they give up. And I don't blame them for giving up. You did all the things you were asked to do. You gave it your best shot. You did all the things. You got vaccinated and you still got COVID. I don't blame them for being like, well, why the hell do I keep doing this then? But that's why public health is different than individual responsibility. And public health has to say, well, not everyone can be vaccinated. And so things in which you have no control, like public transportation, you should probably protect those individuals that are immunocompromised. And we should do things to stop the massive spread of disease, putting impacts on both our supply chains and our hospitals, but that's all lost. I can tell you this is much, much tighter. Whoa, these straps are tight. I forgot how tight these were originally. They're almost too tight. Whoa. $73.16. So yeah, there has been a slight reduction in performance of our old 8210, right? 99.2. Typically, I would get around 99%. So that the tighter seal on that's definitely giving me out. And I'm fairly freshly shaven. I'm not like perfectly shaven. I should be pretty good though. So these masks don't last forever, is what the answer is. But that's not surprisingly. But given that Moldex, let's go back in time. When was my first test with that mask? As we wait for it to come down, so we're line 600, nice even 600. When was the first time I tested with that mask? Here it was, Moldex N100. Moldex N100, 8210, 12/10/2020. So a year and a half ago is when the first time I tested that was. 18 months old mask that's lived its entire life outside of, just on my tabletop or in the basement on my bench downstairs. So that's pretty good sign. All right, so we are at 1.66 E to the 4. 1.66 E to the 4. All right. Excellent. Let's keep rocking this out here. All right, we are on to the last one, which is the Air Queen Nano Control. Get about 89%. Used to get 90%. It's just kind of slowly over time gotten lower and lower. But 'tis what it is. Beauty of data is if you take good data. Tell me not to remind me. Okay, yeah, I get it. Don't show me this again. I'll have to figure out how to turn that off. I'm the owner of the sheet, so I'm surprised it's even telling me. But I must do it for everyone. So let's see. This is the Air Queen Breathe or Air Queen Nano. It's the control mask. It's not rated. It's boat-shaped. It's as worn. It's white. It's ear loop. And it is currently 1.65 e to the 4. All right, call there like 1860s, jumping around a little bit. That's kind of not surprising to me. So we got 88.73. Wait for that. Someone had asked about someone said, Aaron, can you show the effects of a small leak in the mask and the filtration efficiency? It's kind of hard to get a really good tight fit, especially with ear loop ones. Yes, ear loops don't provide as tight a seal as headbands, and so you do compromise some leakage because of that. And the ear loop hacks were mostly about surgical masks, getting a surgical mask to try to seal to your face better. But I recommend do not waste your time with the surgical mask. They're not designed to seal their face. You can hack them. You can use a fix the mask. You can do all this stuff. I have a whole video about that. But in general, just skip this fix the mask and go straight to a respirator style mask, like a KN95, KF94, or head loops, which are going to be N95, FFP2, and some KN95s have headbands as well. But so if you're having leakage issues, consider different masks. Or, ear loops are much harder to fit. You're going to have to try a lot more ear loops to get a good fit on those than with a headband style mask. But that's kind of the nature of the beast. What you can do to improve ear loops, if you have it, you can use a mask clip. They're basically the two ear loops will get pulled behind your head with the mask clip. You can knot them or tie them closer together, but kind of the ear loop issue is that you only have so much strength in your ears before they flop forward, so you can only get so much tension on them. So it really depends on having a good fit there. All right, first up, let's do some elastomeric respirators. Today we have, and we've tested in the past the flow mask, but today we have the Breathe mask. We have two filters for Breathe. Breathe is a Canadian manufacturer. The company is called, I think it's pronounced Prescintex. I'm not sure exactly how they pronounce it. It's kind of a harder one to say, but they have elastomeric mask. It's a liquid silicone rubber injection, kind of like the Flow series, but instead the Flow series has a hard plastic in this area, and they're just all LSR the whole way, liquid silicone rubber. And two filters that they offer. They offer the Breathe, which, or sorry, the bioaerosol filter, which is a PFE, or particle filtration efficiency, which is a FDA style test with PSL, and then they have like a classic Niosh style tested filter that's 99% of that. So basically, what that's a long discussion. We'll talk about when I wear them. We also have the Invo mask. Now the Invo mask is a quarter mask, just like that. And for those that don't know, a quarter mask means it's going to touch and go above my chin. So a quarter mask is above the chin, half mask below the chin, and then full mask is going to include a face shield as part of it, right? So think like a scuba gear, or like a firefighter's mask would be a full mask. So this is a quarter mask is going to go above my chin. So the Invo mask features a gel seal. It has a replaceable element that you can pop in and out. The mechanism on that is actually really good. It's probably better than the breathe and the flow. Like how you secure the filter on this mask is really well designed. I like that. It was very easy to make sure that I have a good seal, because leakage between the frame and the filter would be a problem. So we'll test these both today. I think both of them have the same problem for high filtration, which is they just have limited surface area, limited filter area. So they're not as breathable as other masks. But let's see how they perform in terms of at least filtration right now, and then I'll do the pressure, my constant pressure drop measurement. I'm going to have to turn that off, or I'm going to be annoyed doing that all day. So this is the Invo mask. Invo mask. It is a N95. It's a Niosh N95. I should say that. And it is a quarter mask. It's an Elastomeric quarter mask. I'm going to do as worn. It's blue and white. And I have head strapped as well. So we'll connect it up here and get started. Now I do have to be a little careful on these, because I had to punch the filter independently of that, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But so we'll test it out. Donna says it's Prescintix? It's kind of a weird word. I'm not sure how to exactly pronounce it. Barry, who's the owner of it, we've chatted a few times. I still need to reach out to him and talk about it. I have some tips on how to make that a little bit better, but it's kind of a harder name to pronounce. So while we wait for the concentration to stabilize, Invo mask, I'm not sure is quite my favorite. I have one problem with the Invo mask, and I don't think I feel like I have a very large nose. My nose bumps into the frame of the mask, which kind of is a little annoying. I was a little surprised. So 1.188 e to the 4. Let's go ahead and don the mask. Now, I can't remember exactly how I did this. Oh, I might have messed up here. Can I go around this way with it? Let's see. So I put the strap on like this. Then you can pull this up and over. Now, I'm not going to do a zero seal check, because you can do it with elastomerics quite easily. But I'm not going to do a zero seal check because I have a probe mask. Okay, so one of the complaints I have is that my nose is touching the frame. So I can feel the plastic rubbing on my nose. So it's like, I don't feel like I have a very nose that projects very far, but that would be my number one complaint. It's not very, like tip of my nose, every time I talk, is rubbing against the frame. I do have the valve disabled on this one too. This is a no valve version, no extra valve. All right, 233 is kind of where we bottomed out there. 233. All right, so now I can definitely tell you we're just probably limited by the filter media. I do have the port account with me today, so we might do a port account check, and the port account check is going to just check for leakage only, not including the filter media, so we can compare the elastomeric style and how well they actually seal to my face. As we start to get to these really high filtration efficiencies with these masks, remember my original test was really just about finding fake masks and really ill-performing masks. As we get to these really high filtration masks and get 99%, it's getting really hard for this method to resolve whether it's a face leak or a filter media performance issue. I think in my argument, it doesn't really matter either way. When you get to these levels, we're way up there. And my test does surprisingly correlate nicely with Niosh, 85 liter per minute, like the STP0059. It's like the 85 liter per minute Niosh test standard. Like my data is surprisingly close by pure luck. It's a combination of, like I said before, smaller particle size, so that's harder, but lower breathing rate, so that's better. It's like you factor all of these things together, and it just kind of all balanced out, luckily. So 1.0448 to the 4. All right, so we end up at 97.91. Now we might have to, we'll maybe revisit that one later with the port account. Just want to make sure that everything's tight on there, and we'll try. So we're going to start with the Proshintex. I'm very glad that someone had copy and pasted that into the chat, because now I can just copy that. Yes, I know. Don't remind me. Thank you. Let's see. Thank you, Donna, for nicely pasting that into there, because now I can just go like this, paste, and I don't have to try to spell that one out. So we'll go ahead and delete Proshintex. It is I don't know what it's approved. That's actually a good question. Gray. It's what form is it? It's currently set up for ear loop. I'm actually going to do it ear loop style, and I bet you we'll see what it do. So the first filter we have loaded is the Bio aerosol filter. So this one should perform worse than the other one, but it is much more breathable. So, okay. That's set up on the table there. All right, there yet? I'm waiting for it to stabilize. A little lower than I'd like, but we can get started. We'll try it out. Let's see. 8946. 8946. All right. So I have a mask clip too. I think you can also turn it to headband by just switching it. Oh, son of a gun. We'll mask clip it up here. Trying to find. Wait, how does that work? Is that supposed to? Maybe I have it the wrong way. Oh, I think I have it the wrong way. That's why. Okay. Now the nice thing about elastomeric masks is you need a lot less face sealing pressure, which means you don't necessarily need head straps, and that's an issue associated with our friends at Niosh. Niosh does not. Niosh requires head straps because just my only complaint with this mask is that it's hard to. It's a little too. It's like really soft, but it's like I want it to just get set. There we go. Like it's so soft that it doesn't sit against my nose perfectly well. So I think I got it now. All right, called it 2320. 75%, not great. And this is kind of expected. Barry has been arguing that, you know, the requirement for the filtration requirement for Niosh N95 is too stringent for bioaerosols, which have different particle size distribution, and I don't agree with that. I think, to me, it's the equivalent of asking for spec relief. A lot of other manufacturers have managed to make 99% filtration efficiency masks that are very breathable, at 99% at the Niosh level, and don't need anything to do that. And then sometimes, like this design, one of the challenges with these types of designs is that you just have limited filter area. And so typically what I'm seeing is that, you know, these manufacturers end up, you know, Flow is the same way. They have their everyday version, and then they have the, you know, the higher performance one. And the reason that they have to do that is they just have limited filter area on the mask. We'll call it their 7704. 7704. And I may double check when I take this off that the filter was seated properly. But again, it highlights, like with these style of masks, you have to be really careful that you make sure that the filter is captured in there, because if you don't capture it correctly, it will leak. So we'll pop it off, and I'll swap to the other one while we wait. I'll put the generator on too. So one of the issues is you just have a very small amount of filter area. And so when you have a small amount of filter area, you end up with more pressure drop. And so then the way to get around that is you use a little bit lower quality media. In this case, they're actually not using a lower quality media. I bet you they're using the same material, just it's thinner. There's less filter media thickness. And when you do that, it makes it easier to breathe than when you use a thinner media, but it comes with less protection too. And my argument is, when you look at like the 3M B-Flex, which is one of the most breathable masks that I've tested, is the actual most breathable mask I've tested, it still gets 99%, right? So they have it both ways. They have good filtration efficiency and good breathability. And that's kind of the issues with these style of elastomerics. I think don't get me wrong, I think the elastomeric approach is the way you want to go long term. We should be thinking about that more. But I don't think the approach is to spec relief what we need in terms of protection. What we need to do is design respirators that are better. It means you need more filter area. And I think I've seen Barry's, you know, Twitter profile page. He's got a different respirator than what he sent me. I think he's prototyping one. And I noticed that one of the changes of the prototype respirator is that it has a much bigger filter area. So I think Barry's starting to realize that, yeah, I think you need more filter area. Long term, the solution is really a pleated filter insert, which is what GVS does on theirs. And I think that's the way to do it. All right, we'll do it again. Wait for that concentration to come up just a smidgen more. All right, we'll turn that off. We'll hook it up here. Well, it reminds me how long it takes to do every mask, about 5 minutes. All right. Let's see. Safi asks, how do you store them when not using them? Oh, he's asking CW Piperman. So if you want to avoid COVID and you're very risk adverse, just let them sit. I talk about that. That was actually a CDC approved way. And Niosh didn't really care, but CDC had put in guidance out about reusing respirators, and that was one of the ways is just have a respirator rotated through. COVID itself cannot survive on surfaces for very long, so after 5 days, the virus itself is not viable, so it won't infect you, and so the mask is now, you know, COVID-free. I don't do that as much anymore. I'm basically wearing a mask and letting it sit every other day. I'm just cycling it every other day. I think the data that I'm seeing more and more is that I'm less worried about, I'm really not worried about fomite transmission at all. It really is not a mechanism. It hasn't been for a long time, and I think it's just easier. And I just store them in my car. I've tested that here. I live in Minnesota, so it's not insanely hot, but I just leave mine in the car. If you live in Texas and it's sunny, like it's 150 in your car or something insane like that, you might want to bring it in. But for me, I just leave it in my car. Or my backpack or whatever I'm rocking that day. All right, 2.503. You don't want to mechanically smash them, though. So they're in the plastic bag in my backpack. There's one thing you have to be careful of. You don't want to like put them in your pocket and smash them and sit on them, because that will create problems. All right, so now we'll have to answer the question, was it the fit on my face or Was it the filter? All right, call there 734. 97%. All right, well, we might have to revisit that one with the port account. It's hard to tell. I don't feel like I have a leak, but then when you're at this high, it's really hard to tell. I don't feel like it at all. I mean, it feels like a really good seal. So we'll have to revisit that. I don't know if it's the filter media quality or what on that mask. So we'll revisit that later when I fire up the port account, which will be a little later today. Okay, next up, what do we want to do next? That's one we do the Elastomerics. Okay, let's do two fun new masks as well. Transparent mask. Now this is from, oh shoot, I don't have my sheet with me. Oh, no. I can look it up on my phone. One moment, please. One moment, please. I think it's called Optrail. They don't have their name stamped on the mask. Which is actually, oh, because I got pre-production ones. I got pre-production. I was going to say, let's see if I can find it. What was the name of that company? Optrail. They're a Swiss company. They're a mask manufacturer. They're Swiss, and they make a transparent N95. And it is officially the world's first N95 that has a panel on it. So it's a legit N95. So, what is the name of that company? Let's just see if I can Google it. I think it's Optrail or something like Optrail N95. All right, I'm in the United States. Give me a spot here. Okay. Sure, I'll accept all. Clicking on the map. Your website's slow, or maybe my internet's slow because I'm probably I'm live streaming, so I'm killing my bandwidth. Optrail. Let's see. I think it's Optrail. I'll double. Let me search. I can search Twitter for that. They had contact. They sent me one. I said, of course I would test it. That'd be awesome to have one. So let's see. Let's see. Say Optrail. They message me. Oh yeah, it's Optrail. Okay, it is the Optrail. Oh, I know. Every time I see this button, it reminds me how long it takes to do these tests. Optrail. Windowed N95. Pending model number. I don't have it yet. It is a Niosh N95. They sent me the letter. It is a boat style, trifold. It's going to be as worn. It's white. It's head strap because it's N95. Because that's required by Niosh. Not that you need to. kind of funny. I'm digging into that a little bit more about why Niosh requires head straps, and the answer is you don't want to really know why. It's mostly because they don't have a way. Well, it's kind of weird. There is a way, but there's not like a federally approved way of doing a population sample of fitting, and so they just require a small sample group of people to be fitted to get approval, and then that's about it. And so then they just make you use head straps. So that's where the head strap requirement came from. It's not because you have to. It's just because they don't have a good method of defining fit. Once they fix that, there's an ASTM standard now for how to do a port account fit test, and then they're going to do panel fitting now. And eventually they'll get rid of hopefully, fingers crossed, they get rid of the head strap requirement and just say you need to do a large panel fit of your mask on a wide population and make sure it fits real people. And then you can get rid of the head strap requirement. So 2.01 times 10 to the fourth there. Okay, so this is a transparent mask. Head straps are a little weak. They have nose foam, but again, the nose wire is a little weak too. But the biggest complaint I have is that the breathability is pretty poor. You can really hear it, like, see that? And I'm getting leak right here. The nose wire is not stiff enough. I'm getting leaks. It needs a tighter head strap. The head strap's too weak. Just gonna try to make sure that the folding, it's kind of scratchy too. All right, here we go. Getting a leak right here. So I'll test it as warm. Oh, there, it's 1720. 1720. Yeah, so I'm definitely getting a leak, and it's just that the head strap is not very tight, and I'm getting a leak right here. I can like feel cool air coming right at the end of the nose wire. So this foam is pretty dense, and the foam actually extends beyond the nose wire too. So like this interface right here, I can feel air blowing in and out of that interface. So the nose wire is really weak. I'm not sure why they chased that when they did it. So give it a second. Someone had asked Aura versus V-Flex. V-Flex for me all the way because the breathability is so good. I'm a big fan of the V-Flex. The Aura is really good too. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the Aura. The Aura fits a lot better. I think the Aura fits more people and is a little bit better in terms of fit. But the breathability of the V-Flex, and it's so ugly, I know, but that breathability is just like, and the jaw movement. So I wear it all the time. So I'm a big V-Flex fan. Safi says, still trying to figure out what fomite is. Fomite is a method of transmission for touching things and then getting an infection by touching things. So think about like, you know, touching the counter and then putting it in your mouth. You're going to get an infection that way. So COVID doesn't really do that. It's a respiratory aerosol, a respiratory disease. So it's kind of hard to get it that way. Not that you can, but just a little harder. 1.384 E to the 4. 1.384 E to the 4. Okay, so we got a problem here because that concentration changed a lot over that test. So let's try it again. 1.404. We'll try it again. I got a leak in that, and the concentration changed a lot too. But all right, let's try it again here. This time I'm going to use my fingers to hold it in place. And these head straps just are really weak. I mean, this is like, they need to be more tension. You're going to have a weak nose wire. You got to have a little tighter of a head strap. So, oh yeah. So just plugging, I can feel that it's way better. So let's just. I'm getting a leak all over the place. I can feel another one right here. So this thing is, it ain't gonna work for my face. All right, call there 1238. We're just jumping all around here. 1238. I don't know what's going on with this mask, but it ain't good. It's leaking on me somewhere. I don't know. We'll test it with the port account. See how it does with the port account. See if I'm getting a good face fit. I wonder. I mean, these are pre-production, so maybe there's a chance that when I ported it, I damaged it. There could be a leak on the port, so we'll just check it out. So we'll need to do some verification with the port account on that one. But the nose wire is just, the thing is, if you're going to put nose foam in, you got to use a stiff nose wire. You can't use a twin wire stainless steel nose wire. And this one's even on the weak side to that. So it's a reminder, you got to do that. All right, some Aurors are a little small for me. I've been loving the Draeger 17. Yeah, the Draeger 1750 Explorer is a pretty good mask too. If you have like a tall face, bifolds work better. So I feel like there are people that need bifolds out there. Although I don't particularly like them. 145 e to the 4, 1.45 e to the 4. Yes, I need to disable that, but I don't want to. All right, so 91.32. So let's come back and let's come back and revisit the op trail. I mean, the port feels good, so but. Since we're in the clear mask, now I tested this one a long time ago, and they made some changes to this mask. In fact, Cevu had contacted me and said, "Hey, would you test some more of our masks?" I said, "I've kind of tested all your masks already." He said, "Oh, no, we have the Ffp3," and I was like, "Oh, I've tested your Ffp3, but they've been updating it." And this is, to me, what's going to happen in the mask marketplace is that what we really need is, like, mask manufacturers that are going to stay around for a while are ones that are continuously updating your product. If you just got like a bifold, your generic. KN95 style bifold, and you run your line on that, like, you are going to fail. And there's a lot of mask companies that are going out of business right now. So O2, which was a Canadian mask manufacturer out there, who else just went out of business? Let me see if you guys are, let me check out. So who else went out of business? Let's see. Castle Grade went out of business. Castle Guard, I think it was called Castle Guard mask. Yeah, Castle Grade. It is Castle Grade. Castle Grade went out of business. They don't have their U.S. site is like not existent anymore. So I think they're toast. So kind of funny that they didn't survive very long. I don't know who else is toast, but they're dropping like flies, which is that if you don't make a good product, you're not going to survive. This is going to be a competitive environment now. People, I feel bad for our cloth mask manufacturers because, yeah, you're not going to survive for very long there. All right, let's rock it out. So this is so this is today. We're going to retest the Cevu Smile. It's a what rating is that? I'm not sure. I think I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure that these are FFP2. I'll double check those. So there's a boat shape. It's as worn. It's as worn. White ear loop. If anyone's out there has a second, jump on the Cevu site and check 1.367 E to the 4. See what rating this mask is. 1.367 E to the 4. The ear loops are not quite tight enough for me. Oh, you know what I noticed is that they went to the mega chunkers. They got the 3. Oh, yeah, that's a nice change. I didn't even notice that right away. So the ear loops that they're using are the same as their they call them the Ultra Mask. Oh, they're so comfy, but they are a little loose on me, and this one more so than others. But they're so wide and comfy. Like if you're gonna use ear loops, use wide ones. There we go. That feels good. The other thing I like about this mask is that panel in the front does not ever fog, and there's no collapse. See that? There's no collapse on the mask. The nose wire could use a little bit of improvement. It's long, which is good. They extended the length of the nose wire a lot. It's probably about 50% longer. But all right, 406. 406. %. That's pretty good. So what I'll say is that, I wish they made, and we're going to do the FFP3 next from Cevu as well since they've updated it. But I wish they would put the aluminum nose bridge and put the ear headbands on that as an option. That would be a great mask for hospitals. Like the breathability is actually, or not, or like people that have need to have communication, verbal communication, or people that need to lip breathe. because it's really like much more breathable than the Optrel, much more. And the Optrel problem, like, it's a couple things. Like, a huge swath of the mask is not available for filtration. So it's not a really great design. This has a lot more filtration area, so I'm not surprised. Yeah, I think FFP2L is Jason. I think Jason that looked there. Well, we wait 30 seconds here. People were talking about V-Flex and how it fits. Generally, I find that, the V-Flex, if you have a really tall nose bridge, the V-Flex isn't good because it doesn't have the foam. All right, I'll call it there 1.168, 1.168. Okay, so that's pretty good, 96.8. That's pretty good. Now, I don't know if I always worried that when I port through the glass. Last time I did it through the side of the mask, it was a little easier, but I wanted to do it right down the middle here. So we'll check these both out with the port account at some point just to make sure those numbers are good. All right, let's move on to the Ffp3 Mask from Cevu. Now, last time I tested the mask, they've made some nice improvements on this mask. So I was kind of, when I first sent it to me, I was like, I've already tested that. I don't need to test it again. So here's the improvements. Enhance. Come on. All right, so big improvements. Aluminum nose wire now. Big, like, not quite as chunky as 3M, but pretty strong. Before they had, like, rubber adhesive, or rubber headbands, sorry, like literally like rubber bands like you would buy at the store. Now they've gone to the polyisoprene like 3M has, so much nicer. So they have the polyisoprene headbands. And the one thing that they set them apart from others is that in this they had both a nose foam on the top here and on the bottom a chin foam. So I don't know if really chin foam is really that amazing, but let's check it out. This is a Cevu Cevu Ultra 3D. Or no, wait, what is it? Not Ultra. What is it? 3D Max or Cevu 3D 5FX 3D 5PX, which is an FFP3 rated mask. It's boat shaped. It's as worn. It's white, and it's headband, and it's polyisoprene headbands too, like a really much nicer headband than what they had on there before. So I'm pretty excited to see how this one performs. Let's see. So Cevu Smile is FFP2. That would make sense. It's ear-looped FFP2, which it complies to, but it wouldn't work for hospitals. Hospitals still need to have fit tested. Even in Europe, they need to be fit tested, so the ear loops probably not going to help them with that. Yeah, I mean, aluminum nose wire is more expensive than the steel nose wire for sure, because there's more metal in it. So, but I don't know exactly how much. Keep Going says Elastomeric Mask seems to be the best design for a clear, transparent respirator. Yes and no. Elastomeric Mask, if it's done right, but elastomeric masks have one problem, which is that they absorb sound. Because the silicone has density to it that the non-wovens don't, that they muffle your speech too. So elastomeric has trade-offs too. So 9820 is where we're going to start here. So elastomerics aren't perfect either. There are designs out there. Canopy tried to do it. I don't know if they're still in business now. Some other companies have done it, but in general, I just haven't seen it executed well. That's for sure. So maybe it's possible. I just haven't seen one. But I think elastomerics have the problem that they muffle speech. If you don't do it right, you got to do it right. You can get away with it if you design your mask right. Okay, so right away, compared to their previous version, much better seal. The chin foam's nice. Pretty good. Pretty damn good. The headbands are way better. Way better. Yeah, way better. Oh, they're at 96.13. 96.13. Yeah, that's a good mask. 99%, yeah. I would guess that I'm just dominated by face leakage more than anything else. So, good on them. And they're using the same foam as the Aura series, too. Yeah. I would say, I don't know what the price is on these, but you're getting close to an Aura competitor there. So good on Cevu. And again, it highlights, like if you're going to be in this space, you have to be constantly improving your product. I'm going to not put all these over there because these are going to fall. If you're not constantly improving your product, you're going to fall behind. All right, move on. Let's do some cup masks. I got to turn the generator on, so we'll do that. Up next, well before N99. Has it's an N99, but it has what I liked about it. Oops, sorry, we're all caught up here. Hold on one second. I'm all caught up on the mold X's here. So we got the well before N99. It has a soft elastomeric seal or soft foam seal inside. So there's like this foam seal inside. I want to check that out. Then I'm going to check out the Mold X N100 Airwave style. So it's valved, but it's got also the soft foam inside of it, like Mold X style. The only problem with Mold X is like it fits or it doesn't fit because there ain't no nose wire. And then the same version in an N95 version, no valve. Very breathable. Like probably Aura series, or I mean V-Flex series, breathable. Same with the N100. So again, what's the magic? Is they pleated it. They pleat it to get more surface area. It's a great way to get more breathable masks. It costs more, but you know I'm willing to pay $1.50 a mask if it's better versus $1 or 80 cents with a V-Flex. Like, you know, historically it's been hospitals and industrial sites, industrial workplaces that have really dominated, and they really drive the price down. Because if you're a hospital, historically you're disposing of them like 5 a day, 10 a day. You know, so $1 versus $1.50 is quite a large difference in your cost. For the consumer like us that are kind of mask nerds, like, who cares? I'd pay $5, you know, if it's really, really good. Oh, thank you. I forgot the upstream data. Oh, shoot. Well, we'll pull it off the... dang it, you're right. I did forget the upstream data. I got too ahead of myself. Let's retest it. Damn it. Good call. We'll make our data right. Son of a gun. The only complaint that I had, the only thing that I think that this could do better, the Cevu Ffp3 Pro version, is I think they could use a little bit heavier nose wire in there. It's not. It needs to be 3M thickness with that foam in there. Had they not had the foam, I think that would be fine. But you add the foam, which is good because it adds sealing capability. You need to add a heavier nose wire. So. All right, let's see. British Matthias says, "Hi, welcome back right now. I'm glad to be back to do some testing for a little bit. It's been a while. It's been a busy summer." Alan Broel says, "V-Flex definitely needs foam nose piece and a bit more fabric reinforcement to prevent edge fraying." Agreed. I wish that the V-Flex, I mean, the V-Flex is cheap, 80 cents or something like that if you buy in volume, even cheap. Like, you can get, if you buy in like really bulk, it's 60 cents a mask. I would gladly pay twice that, throw some nose foam, make some nice little creature comforts in there. And sorry, I'm a little blown out down here. It's a cloudy day outside, so I'm just getting blasted by the outdoor light because I'm looking out the window. Looking at my nice fence out there that I built. Looking real nice. All right. Cevu's $250 mask. Ooh, that's still too expensive. I can get Auras for cheaper. So it's a good mask, but you're still, you know, Cevu, you got to get your price down. Looks like we're stabilized now. Give it a few seconds. 2.958 e to the 4. 2.958 e to the 4. Yes, don't remind me that it's already been 5 minutes since I tested the last thing. All right, let's do this thing. Yeah, my only complaint would be that nose wire is just not quite stiff enough. It would be nice if it was stiffer. All right, color 21512, 215.2, sorry. All right, 99.27, that's pretty good. I bet you that's dominated by just leakage, so pretty good, pretty damn good. Someone had mentioned that they had the bought nose wire defective, and they're looking for a larger mask. Let's see, where can I find that comment? Cevu 3D Ultra pulls his ears forward, suggests for a big head. So that if the Cevu Ultra has too short of ear loops, that's surprising to me. Okay, so the option is the Mega Fit is an option. It's a bigger mask like that. It's from Collect. It's called the Mega Fit. It's a KF94, just like that. Very similar. Better nose wire now than the Botan. Otherwise, I'm trying to think what else is on that bigger side these days. And normally I'd say go Ultra 3D, Cevu Ultra 3D large. Would be very similar to the Botan Fit. What else? What else can we? Trying to think what else is in the big sizes. Blue 3D would be an option too. They're similar. Blue is probably a little bit smaller, but that might be an option too. All right, 2.104 e to the 4. 2.104 e to the 4. All right, 99.15. So that's pretty good. I bet you we were dominated by face seal leakage because I bet you that it's leaking right along those foam interfaces there. But still good mask. Okay, now we can get back to where we're at. So let's do the well before N99. Now you're asking, why are you doing N99s there? Well, mostly I'm just going to add to the database a little bit. I had a request. This was a request from Judah. Shout out to Judah. You're a good dude. Sent me a couple masks and had asked, is it worth it to go to an N99? And I said, I haven't looked at a ton of N99 finds, so why not? We'll make some comparisons between is there a real benefit to N99? No, I've been working on a calculation showing I think that N95s typically are the sweet spot. So if you want more, if you have 1% face leakage going from an N95, which really filters at 99%, to like an N99 or N100, like the small incremental improvement of filtration efficiency at 1% face leakage, really provides a very marginal improvement in your protection, but it comes at the expense of it harder to breathe in. So I think what I'm recommending and what I'm going to push for is get an N95 that seals as best as you can. So we're going to drive to we want to go just better face seal. And you're going to get better protection without the penalty of breathability by going to better and better face seal. So what we need is port accounts for everyone. That'll happen, not right away. I'm working on that, but that will take a little while longer to get that problem solved. But yeah. So I'm surprised the Ultra gave him Dumbo ears. He must have a very large cabeza in terms of the distance from the ears. You know, just the distance from ears to face. That can be that's probably the issue. So you need longer ear loops. You can try stretching them out, but yeah, that's an ear loop issue. Not sure how else to solve that. 2.136 e to the 4. 2.136 e to the 4. Okay. Go ahead and don the mask. It does have cord locks, so it has adjustable headbands. Good on them for doing that. It's a little small for my face. Smaller than I would like. But good. It's really small, so if I talk, my jaw is popping down. So it's a little too small for my comfort. Yeah, Elizabeth Mencken, that's a good call. The LG Airwasher would be a good option too. Good call on that one. And the LG Airwasher has adjustable ear loops too. Yeah, this mask is blocking my vision a little bit right here. I can see the mask in my vision, so yes. All right, 62.09, stuck 62.09. So that's pretty damn good, 99.71. So that's pretty good. Breathability is pretty good too, it's not terrible. But the foam note thing helps. It's a little of a small mask. I am very excited to try out this one though. Because relative to my other Moldex N100, which I set over here, like it is noticeably like way more breathable. Oh yeah, much more breathable. And the foam is softer in this one. This one, the foam is really rigid. And I guess I actually have to record what the actual part number is on this now. The Moldex, what is the part number on this one? I'm gonna have to actually go get my box out downstairs. You know I have a spare of this one. I haven't needed to pull out of the box yet. I bought two years ago. And I paid a pretty penny for them because they were very hard to get. All right. Let's get the upstream. Upstream is stabilized. Still coming up just a smidge. 1.828 e to the 4. 1.828 e to the 4. All right, 99.69. Pretty damn good. pretty damn good well before. Not terribly breathable, like not bad in terms of breathability. So we'll toss it over there for the moment. We're running out of places to keep masks. All right, next up, let's do this Moldex N100. So this is the 08622. All right, this is 86. Copy and paste this here. So this is the Moldex N100, 4700 N100 Airwave. This is a Niosh N100. Oops, Niosh. Cup style as worn. White strap. I can tell you this is really, I mean, if the Moldex doesn't fit you, it's a bummer, but this is going to be a nice mask. I have a feeling it's going to be a really nice mask. It feels really nice. Let's see. Teacher makes use suggests for teachers that are breathable. She has tried Bot and Blue and Posh, but she says it can feel tight on her chin area. Well, try the Cevu Ultra Large. And go to the, and they have a few different sizes of the Cevu. Tight in the chin area. I'm not sure. In the chin area. That's a tough one. Depends what you mean by the chin area. If it's like nose to this distance is the chin, or does she mean like chin to the back of the neck? Like tight this way or tight this way? Depends. But you would need a taller mask. Poshes are well rated. I tested those a while back. They're good. The good Cat 94. My sister's a teacher. Which mask do you suggest for teachers that are breathable? She also tried Bot and Blue and Posh, but she says they can't. Oh, yeah. So, wait, so N99s are legit? Yeah, N99s are legit. We've been testing a Moldex N100 since the beginning of this. The question is the pressure drop worth the extra tiny amount of improvement in filtration in the media? The answer is maybe for some, but probably not for most. Okay, let's get started here. 1.503 e to the 4. 1.503, whoops. 1.503 e to the 4. It's a reminder every time 5 minutes go by. All right. So Moldex style, the Moldex straps are nice too, because it's nice that you can do this with the Moldex strap. Let me get it centered up here. So you can hang it over the neck, that's nice, and then you just take and pull it up over the head. All right, we're slowly creeping up. I'm going to call out at the 5-second average, 1.4. 1.4 particles per cc. All right, there we go. Another 99.99. Like, honestly, if I had to choose between the N99 from well before and the, which has a nose wire, but this one doesn't, you know, that Moldex, man, that Airwave is really breathable. Much more breathable than the N99, or at least feels that way. The other thing that's kind of nice about the Moldex with the flex with this pleating is that it's more flexible, which is kind of nice. If I had to pick an N100 so far of what I've tested, that's the mask. All right, let's see. So let's see. I've always had severe breathability. Someone had said something. I buy Powcom. I like them, but sometimes I'm suspicious because they're so cheap. Powcoms are legit, for sure. They've been tested by myself and a lot of other people. The U.S. importer also just bought a mask tester because he's going to be testing lots too to just double check everything. So Powcoms are legit. All right, let's do it here. 1.304 e to the 4. 1.304 e to the 4. So 99.99. That is a damn good mask. The breathability on it's awesome. All right, let's check the N95 version now. Someone had said that Mask Lab doesn't have certification. They do. Mask Lab is an FFP2, and I heard they're going to go get KN95 certified too. They've been avoiding it because N95, it's a 4700 N95 airwave is the part number. It's Niosh 95. It's cup. It's as worn. It's white. It's head strap. So Mask Lab is FFP2, and they publish all their test data too, so you can look at it. So black velvet laces. What N95 do you recommend? So far of the N100 do it. So far of the N100s I tested, that Airwave is the best one. But I haven't tested a lot of N100s, so that's like I think I've tested just a few of them in there. So like distracting myself. 1.309 e to the 4. 1.309 e to the 4. It's going to tell me. Okay. All right, here we go. So do the same thing for the Moldex N95 variety. I'm going to pull it just a smidgen tighter there. This thing's very breathable. It's like, it's not probably V-Flex breathable, but it's pretty damn close. The only complaint, and I actually have to check if this is a medium or a large. I'll look on this one while we wait. Medium large. All right, 124 there. We settled in at 124. 99.05. Man, that is nice and breathable. Whew. Good job, Moldex. I hadn't tested that one because I don't really like cup masks, but if you're going to do a cup mask, that's probably it. Very nice seal, super breathable. Like if you're going to do a cup, that's definitely what to do. All right, a couple questions I saw though. Someone had said that in the Mask Lab for All subreddit that the lab that they used for their test was sketchy. They used SGS, not sketchy. One of the largest multinational corporations or multinational lab tests. They have tests in the U.S., they have tests in Europe, and they have tests in Asia. Super solid. And their FFP2, I think, is through SGS Helsinki in Finland, also a legit lab. So they used SGS for their notifying body. So no, I don't think that's questionable at all. There's a lot of people that say a lot of things now that don't know what they're talking about, but it's okay. 1.140, 1.114 e to the 4 for the finish. So we got 98.98 for the airwave. Wow, really nice Really good mask there. Beautiful. Very breathable. Super breathable. I like that. All right, let's continue our journey. We are getting through the stack here finally. Got a few more masks to go. All right, next up, Bnx F95 trifold versions. So they made these. I did something a little different in terms of porting on these. I was worried that I was going to, they do the embossing right on the front. And so I didn't want to port through the embossing. I was worried it might leak, so I went a little lower at that. So just if you're wondering why I did that. Similar to the Aura in terms of, it's like identical. I compared it, front panel identical, bottom panel nearly identical. Top panel is a little different. There's a design patent out for the Aura about the shape of this here, and so they had to get around that. So it's a little different in terms of that. It's a little shorter. It fits smaller for me. Some people have said they felt it fit bigger, but for me it fits smaller. But you know, that's kind of the issue. Someone had said N95s are better than ear loops because they provide a better fit. And I always like to caveat that they provide a better fit on average. Simply having a head strap N95 does not magically make you fit your face. So I think that's an important part. Fit. The seal is really, because the key thing is, if you watch this channel or me talk enough, this is the Bnx, what do they call this thing? The F95V. It's black. That's why I picked testing this one. So the filter media relative to COVID and really anything is like off the charts good. COVID aerosols on the small side are about a half a micron. We really care about 2 micron is like the peak value that we care about. So like in general, N95s are all you really need. The mechanism in which you're going to get most of your exposure is leakage around the mask. So most N95s, you've seen the filter media probably tests even better, and we're just getting face leakage. And face leakage is going to be the real dominant mechanism for this. So we'll see how this one tests, and that's why I have the port account with me. We can test some face leakage and compare how did I get a fit test versus this test. And this style test is a total inward leakage test, so it's a little bit different than a fit test, so it's kind of combining both. It was easy for me to do it this way. Before I had a port account, I just did it this way, because why not? I had a CPC, and originally the whole point of this channel was, were the masks legit or not? And I think we've answered that question all on the mask, and now we're taking the data to kind of a limit that's not as practical anymore, where people are like, oh, you got 99 versus 99.3, and there is a significant difference there, but really we're in the noise of my measurement at this point. So it's really dominated by face leakage. But what I'm showing is like, these masks all perform really well relative. And think about this. When I started this, everyone was talking about cloth masks, and we're talking 30, 40, 50% filtration efficiency. And now we're talking about everyone's humming over, is it 97, is it 98, is it 99? And that's a great problem. I love that that's the argument that's happening, and we're not even talking about cloth masks, and we're not talking about surgical masks, because we understand that surgical masks don't provide a good face seal. So, all right, 12:33, let's get moving here. We got still more masks to do. So we have the 9785. We're a little on the low side, but we'll be okay. To start after this one. So I like this mask because it's black, an Aura series headband style, but no foam. Pretty breathable, but they made it in black, and it's one of the few Niosh N95s in black. Oh, there, 149.8, 149.8, 149.8. So pretty damn good. Let's see, what do we end up with? 98.47. It's really good. Good and breathable. It's black. Black's nose foam. So that's kind of a bummer, but that one's good. Someone said the FFP test at a Mass Lab website is one from variety from 2020. Haven't they published more recent tests somewhere? That's a good question. I'm not sure. I haven't dug through there since probably 2021. You can always email them and ask. They do have a mass fit test. I mean, if you watch my interview, we talk about it. They have a mass tester online that they're testing all their masks, which is exactly what you need to do to have good quality control. I did hear a rumor that one mask type that they had was bad, but the follow-up emails never made any sense, so I'm not sure exactly what that was about. But in general, they're a good mask. My wife wears them. If I didn't think they were legit, I wouldn't let my wife wear them, so I'm not worried about them. I've tested a few different varieties over the time. I'm not sure the latest version I've tested. I tested one a while back. Ombre, I think? Or no, not Ombre. You'd have to look at my records. There's one in there from a while back. I wouldn't worry about it. I do think that they have not really innovated in a while, though. So, okay, let's grab that downstream concentration before we time out here. 8787. I think Mass Lab, in terms of prints, innovated a lot. There's a lot of different prints out there, but in terms of sizing and all the things we're talking about, and head loop or head strap varieties, and becoming like an N95 certified, which I think or FFP3, and putting head straps and getting into the healthcare market, because I think people like in the healthcare world would like those. You know, they haven't really done that, and I think that's where they've been struggling a little bit. Okay, so the other next one is a prototype Bnx that they had sent to me. Now this one they said they made a few. It's not Niosh approved yet. They're just testing it out. They asked me to see what I think about it. They made some changes to the layers. I'd have to look what the message said. I don't remember exactly what the difference was. But let's see how it stacks up. We got to turn on the generator for a second here, so let's kick that on. So this is the Bnx F95 Prototype. Not Niosh approved, that's for sure. As one. It's a white head strap. So this one, they had made a couple layer changes inside. I think they're trying to get a little bit more breathable or maybe less hot inside. I'm not sure. So we'll take a look. I see some people talking about the Bluna face fit that when they emboss, the ultrasonic emboss on the mask front, that they're seeing a hole poked into it. I'm not sure. If you can send me a message via Twitter of what you saw there. The embossing itself isn't really too much of a concern. The embossing is just a transparent portion of it. They weld the layers together. We see that in all the masks. But you can over emboss and then puncture physical holes in it, which I've seen happen in some masks. So if you actually have seen that, shoot me a text. And you should definitely email them and whoever you bought them from and say, hey, Collect, if you bought them from Collect, you know, these masks are this way, and so they can forward that information along. I think the quality control during Omicron, some mask companies really struggled. I think I saw the same, you know, just poor quality ear loops, and so, you know, they just were turning up to 11 and they started to let their quality slip, which they shouldn't do. I'm not saying that's a good reason to do it. I'm just saying what happened. They're incentivized to sell a lot of masks when everyone wanted masks and prices were high. So, all right. I am shocked that there's 50 people hanging out in here watching me test masks, but thanks for hanging around. We've got a few more left. We've got a bunch of Cevus, Product Lab Kids Mac, and then we're going to do the Well Before series. We've got a Botan and a N99 or N100 from GVS. N99 from GVS. So, got some, and then we're done for today. Then I might bust out the port account for a little bit just to do some fit check on some of those and just make sure that it wasn't the filter media. We're going to over target here a little bit. I want to make sure it's not the filter media that's causing some of the issues. Make sure it's just confirms a fit issue. All right, I don't see anything in the chat, so everyone's kind of chilled out in the chat, or the chat is not working, one of the two, but that's all good. Let's see. Maybe no one has anything to say. That's okay, too. to stabilize. So the masks we need a port account is going to be definitely the off-trail window masks. And we'll just do a couple ones that, anything that did low, like the Pershintex. Anything that's low will pop back in over the Niosh to do the port account and do a fit check. Alright, I think we're almost stabilized. Let's just do a quick Twitter check, see, make sure no one's hitting me up on Twitter with anything. We'll see. Let's see. All right. 3.624 e to the 4. 3.624 e to the 4. I was wondering, the numbers are up in the upper right corner there. I'm just watching those. And one thing the Bnx also does is they use a fabric strap. And I kind of like a fabric strap in some ways because it slides over your hair easier. The ISO, what were the other ones? I'm blanking on the name of it. ISO, whatever, the rubbery style straps. Like, this panel's not folding over. This feels smaller to me than an Aura. The Bnx does feel smaller to me, but that's my face. I wonder what they changed on it. It feels a little more breathable. I'm not sure if the chat's working for everyone. I don't see it updating here, so I don't know if this stream's even still going. Throw me something in the chat if you can. I don't see anything there. Maybe no one's chatting. That's okay too. But I don't know if this crashed or not. Am I still alive? It says I might be. All right, chat has frozen for me, but I can see it on my phone. All right, so I don't know what's going on there, but I got it back on the computer here. All right. All right, 258. 258. Waiting for that to stabilize. Pretty damn good. Feels like the prototype is better than the other one. Could just be a little bit of variability in face leakage though too. So we'll wait for a second to let that stabilize. Chat's back live for me, so sorry about that. Let's see. Someone said, Aaron, man, bowling ball head, thick neck, now wears a bit small Aroon. So Aroons are big, so you can check out Bnx. Their bifold is like as big as the Aroon, but kind of a different aspect ratio. But it also comes with head straps. I feel like the ear loops are maybe a little longer on it too. So Bnx, if you like the bifold style, then Draeger Explorer 1750 in a large is another option. And then, what else could we go that's big? Champak, ultra breathable. I'm going to do a video eventually. I think they make an extra large. Let me just double check. That's going to be in my selection for the. They make an extra large? No, just a large and a medium. I don't feel like the large is really that large though. I haven't played around with the Champak enough, but it's like the most breathable bifold style, and they make a large. Might be an option. I'm trying to think what else out there in the big sizes. Let me grab this upstream concentration, 2.812 to the 4, 2.812 to the 4. It's 99.2. Oops, don't want that. There we go, 99.2. All right. So that one feels a little bit better, maybe a little bit more breathable, but we won't know until we get out to the when I do the breathability measurements, which I'll do after this. All right, let's do the GVS in. Let's do the GVS in 100. Well, that's really popular. So I see a problem. Anyone else see the issue there? Okay, yeah, that's going to be an issue. Let's glue it back on there. Okay. Oh. The glue's still sticky, so it's okay, but not really loving that. We got some nose foam on it, a little thin layer of some closed cell foam. Let's check it out. All right, so this is the GVS N100. Or N99, so it's a GVS N99. Segre. Part number. N31123. Okay. This is a Niosh N99. Bifold. It's going to be as worn. It's white. It's head strap. It's 2.438. Let's try it out. It's got rubber straps. Ooh, they're tight. Very tight. Oh, breathability. Not very good. Whew. That's a not fun mask to wear. It's really small. It's like really, these straps are so tight to my face. Good seal because of that, but not very comfortable. Call that 123. All right. Okay. That's a tight one. Not very comfortable. Hard to breathe in. Don't recommend that one already. All right, bunch of questions out there. I saw I was going through the list because I got to pause, and so there's all kinds of stuff, and I saw back and forth. So I'm going to answer this question: do I wear a mask outside? If I am loosely, so I'd look at it two ways. One, you got to multiply all the risks. One, if I'm with a group of, let's say, 4 or 5 people in my backyard, definitely not worried about it. Assuming those people are responsible individuals, like no symptoms and no visible. I mean, it's all about multiplying risk. So like my community rate is about 0.1%. So 0.1 to 0.2% right now. Kind of depends how you do the calculation. But so that means that any probability that like if there is like, or maybe it's a little higher than that now. It might even be a little higher than that. I have to check, but it's pretty low. So if they didn't know they had it, what's the probability that they could have it? It's still pretty low. Outdoors is really good in terms of you have unlimited air changes per hour. I don't set uncomfortable. I mean, I keep normal distance from adults. So like if I was like really close, it'd be a different story. So for me, 5 people outdoors dining, my backyard, no concern. I eat out patios all the time. Again, very limited concern. Again, because you're only interfacing with the waitress or waiter, I should say, waiter. Sorry, excuse me, waiter. So what's the probability that the waiter is COVID positive? It's quite low. What's the probability that your duration of exposure is quite low? Can you get it outside in a patio? The answer is yes. There's no guarantee. Because if you're downstream of someone that has it, they're huffing and puffing, they're breathing them all out, and you're there for 3 hours, of course, there's a probability. What's the probability of all that? I think much, much lower. So to me, it's about balancing risk. I really don't want to get COVID. I haven't managed to get it. I think the things that I'm doing have helped limit it. Does it mean it's a guarantee? Of course not. But so in general, would I wear a mask outdoors if I was at a concert, packed in tight, think Lollapalooza? I think that you're around 10 million, like literally 500 people might be around you. What's the probability that someone has it? Quite high, given that number of people. So yes, in general, it depends. So densely populated places, yes, I would wear a mask outdoors. Low density populated stuff, walking on the trail, biking. I ride my bike all the time. Backyard patio dinner. No, I don't wear a mask, and I don't think the risk is excessively large. But that's my risk tolerance, and everyone has a slightly different one. So this is the Botan yellow, or it's a Botan large, FFP2 rated. So it's the new version. Oops, I put a parenthesis on that. Niosh. Oh no, it's FFP2 and Niosh, not Niosh. What am I thinking? FFP2 rated, and it's also KF94 rated. So we'll put /KF94. Again, not surprising that happened. The KF94 spec is the exact same as FFP2. So if you pass that, then you're good. Now, for those that saw the Twitter message, these are the new Botans. I don't know all which are impacted by this change, which is kind of annoying. I gotta click yes to that, okay, because I'm gonna drive myself nuts doing that every time. Where are we at? We are at 2.066 e to the 4. 2.066 e to the 4. Okay, so the nose wire has changed on the Botans. They stupidly went to they were at a 5 millimeter twin nose wire, and now they went, or 0.5 millimeter. Now they're at like a 0.4, so they weakened the nose wire. They put a weaker dang nose wire in there. I couldn't believe they did that. So we'll see how it performs. But I could notice right away when I put it on, I was like, wow, this is not at all like the Botan I remember. And then I just went and grabbed one of my stash from like 2 years ago. I still have a ton of them around. And I was like, and then I just cut it open and took the nose wire out. And so like the nose wire is much weaker. Why would you do that? It's just stupid. I mean, the coloring's cool. Good job. You did colors. I like that. Don't put a shitty nose wire in. Don't go from a 0.5 millimeter to a 0.4 millimeter. That's stupid. All right, so I think we answered the outdoor question. Okay, would I let my wife fly with a Mask Lab mask or something that's 98%? It depends. With universal masking, so me and my wife have flown, and my son have gone on a few trips by airplane. And my wife's gone on actually quite a few trips to different places. And the answer is, and she's never got COVID on the airplane. She, when universal masking, she was wearing a Mask Lab. Once they dropped the mask mandate, she usually wears an Aura series or on the plane. And so, I would totally be fine with 98% with a good face fit. The face fit's the most important thing. So make sure the mask fits you really well. I wouldn't get hung up too much on the filtration rate. The fit is the most important thing.
And unfortunately, I can't fit, you watch this video, and you can see me watching me fit masks on my face, but that doesn't mean they're gonna be the same for you. So you really have to work on fit. I have a video about that, and really, you can make do-it-yourself fit testers. You can get a port account. You can actually pay services for that now. Just look for industrial hygienist or occupational health service around you. They do these for hospitals all the time, and you can get a fit test. Just ask for a quantitative fit test, and if they have it available, typically costs around $100. You bring the masks, they'll quantitatively fit test you. Fit is the most important thing at this point. So if you got good quality melt blown, 97, 98, 99. Fit is going to be the more dominant mechanism for getting COVID. Leakage around the mask, which is a fit, is going to be more dominant than the filter media is going to be. Okay, so hopefully I answered that question. Then I'm going to be quiet now and test the bottom. Color 143, 143. Still really good filter media on that mask. And this, to be honest with you, I'm kind of annoyed. Bottoms are not a bad mask. The ear loops adjuster is kind of relative to other ear loop adjusters now, not as good. But in terms of filter media, they've always used a really high-end filter melt blown in there. I just can't believe they went to a weaker nose wire. It was so stupid of them. So Botan, if you're ever watching Botan, give me a call. We can chat about this. I don't charge anything for it. I just want better masks out there. Yeah, nose wire change was stupid. Someone asked if the LG air washer is still good. I haven't tested one in a while. I still use them sometimes, so I trust them. I haven't seen any quality issues with that. Some people complain about the strapping, the ear loops getting where they welded them together had some issues, but I never saw that. Pretty good. Let's see. So I might have lied. Maybe our rate is 1.5% here. It might not be 0.1%. It might be 1.5%. I'm going off memory here. But again, I look at that and say it was 1.602, even if it's 1%, 1.602. The probability that someone in my group of 5 people, or let's say 5 people, 4 other people, the probability that they have COVID, and again, I'm assuming they're good people. They know that, hey, like, if I have symptoms, I'm not coming over to Aaron's house, or if I had close contact, I'm going to let Aaron know before I come over. We can kind of figure out what the risk is. So like that to me builds a lot of risk in. So then it's like, what's the probability that they're asymptomatic? And we can assume the community case rate. Let's say the case rate's 1%. So there's a 5% chance that someone has COVID in my group during that meeting. I'm outdoors, 2 hours. Like, to me, that risk is low. But some people, that risk is much higher. I mean, I think that there is some level of independent risk that you have to do anytime. So I don't necessarily always disagree with the CDC like that, but the level that they're doing it at this point is stupid. There still needs to be community health. All right, so let's do the well before series. So well before changed up their mask. I saw someone say that they moved the nose wire down. I can believe that because I think this paneling here changed, so I'll pull it up. So well before has, and let me just check the chat real quick, make sure there's nothing else I missed. Let's see. I don't know why PHG masks are so expensive. They don't perform that well. Does Good Manner KF94 still offer maximum protection? They're ear loop, so if you want maximum protection, you know, well-fitting head strap's going to give you a little bit, on average, better filtration or protection because there's going to be less face leakage. But in terms of the filtration median within a Good Manner KF94, yeah, I personally probably would rock an N95 on the airplane now because we have no universal masking. I got lots of V-flexes. My son, unfortunately, is going to be ear loop only, and he would rock a Tiger mask. If case rates weren't so crazy and we had a summer like last summer, I'd be okay with an ear loop, but you know, case rates everywhere all over the place. Okay, so well before, let's talk about them. So well before, historically, not a great mask. The breathability was kind of poor, and they came up with a new design. Now, so someone had commented that they noticed that the well before changed their mask, and I think that's what they did. So now that this front panel has this different bossing up here, they moved the nose wire down. I don't particularly like that. I wish they would have kept the nose wire up to the edge, but I was gonna knock them too because I'm like, oh, it says well before. It's not. It doesn't say KN95 anywhere. They hid that. It's not really hidden. It's good. It's a clever way to do it. I don't know if you're gonna pick it up on the camera, but it says, you know, GB 2626-2019 KN95. So hey, they meet all the labeling requirements of a KN95. A company that's doing it right. They actually put all the things you need to know on there. Nose wire is super mega. It's stiff. It's really good. Actually, I would say they have a very good nose wire on this now. So they fixed the nose wire, and they're claiming that the breathability is much better. So let's find out. We'll test it and see how the filtration efficiency looks. Now, this is their Welcome series. The Welcome series does not feature ear adjusters. Works out to be about $1 a mask, though. So color, breathable. We'll see how the filtration looks. Good nose wire for $1 a mask. Okay, you're making a competitive argument there well before, so let's see what they got. So this is the well before for boat KN95 Welcome series. KN95 boat shape is going to be as worn. It's a nice blue. I like the blue actually. I like that kind of blue. All right, let's see what we got concentration wise. We're dropping a little bit. We're at 1.352 e to the 4. 1.352 e to the 4. All right, let's don the mask. Ear loops are too long for me. So no adjustments on this one. And they are using a noodle style ear loop, a kind of flat one, which is good. So they got a bonus from me for that already. So I think, you know, well before is really up their game. I think they might, you know, I don't know. We'll see how breathable they are, whether they'll get a recommendation or not. But the coloring is nice. The breathability is significantly better. They might be up there with now everyone else. They might even be Cevu level. They might be Cevu level. Yeah, they might be Cevu level. It's pretty damn good. All right, 175. So 98.7, that's pretty damn good for a breathable mask. That's pretty damn good. So I got to give Well Before some credit there. It's a much better mask than they've made in the past. Let's fly through all of their offerings. Now, the reason that I'm going to do some kids masks here because I want to update my kids spreadsheet with better options out there. So right away, I hope they translated that to all the kids masks too, because their kids masks were on the upper end of the breathability too, which is not really ideal. I want all masks to be as breathable as possible. I think it drives a lot of comfort. More people don't realize that, how much it drives comfort. Now, one thing, we'll have a little bit of a nerd out here session talking about one other metric of comfort that we have not talked a lot about. And that nerd out session is going to be about water vapor permeability. So one of the things that masks do, right, when we breathe out warm air and it's humid. And so one of the things that comfort is like inhalation. How hard it is to breathe in is really what drives one of the most biggest comforts. Exhalation, probably less so much. But that humidity, that level of kind of heat that's left in the mask, and it's hard to get out of. Like if it's a hot day, you kind of feel like you're like, oh, I'm overheating in this mask. I can't just get cool. And that is that there's that water vapor that's in the mask when you breathe out. It's warm and it's humid and it makes it feel hot. So some companies have, of course, got around with that with exhalation valves, right? So exhalation valves help solve that. Because what happens when you breathe out in that exhalation valve is I think it actually entrains a little bit of the air with it, which means it sucks in cool air too as you breathe out. I think that's why 3M calls theirs the cool flow, is that you get a little bit of entrainment that sucks that air in, and it makes it feel cooler. Well, without a valve, with an unvalved mask, you really can't get that. So one of the things that you can do is have really good water vapor transportation, or water vapor permeability of the mask. Basically, how effective is the water vapor coming out of the mask, and that moment between your breathing out and breathing in. That will drive comfort, because there's a little bit of time where water vapor can escape. And what Well Before did in this mask, and I can feel it, is they went to a good vapor. They went to a better design for the mask, probably a better melt blown, single layer. But when they did that, when they went to the single layer melt blown and probably lower density spun bond, is that the mask lost some shape to it. It felt thin, and so they felt that like, oh well, people think this mask is too weak because it's thin. So they put a bunch of what they call ES hot cotton, or what's it called? ES cotton or something like that. It's basically like it's like the material that you'd use in a pillow at home. That kind of it's like a bunch of fibers and they're kind of fluff. So it's basically like pillow fillowing, effectively, but it filters too. But it's more like pillow fillowing instead of a sheet of paper. And so they did that to give the mask some structure. But in doing that, what they did is that because they added all that thickness, now it's not as good in terms of vapor permeability. So I'm noticing it feels hotter relative to the equivalent Cevu. Now this is something that if you've been watching people talk about KF80s, I think there's something on the Mask for All subreddit. People are talking about like these KF80s. This KF80 feels so much more breathable to me. And sometimes the breathability it's not actually more breathable. It is more comfortable. But it's not the breathability that's different. What's different is the water vapor permeability of the mask is much better, so it feels cooler and it feels more comfortable. 1.058 e to the 4 for this one here. We'll test this is their advanced one. It's got the toggles on the ear loop, so that's nice. That's a nice bonus. Not too many of people have done that. A lot of people doing the ear loop adjusters built into the mask. These people, they put toggles on it. Again, they got it's a pretty solid mask. So anyway, so what happens is the water vapor permeability affects it. So thinner mask will feel cooler because more water vapor permeability. That's my hypothesis. So a mask like this feels a little hotter because of that thickness to it. All right, call it there 99.65. 99.65. All right, let that one set up. In terms of what I'm using, let's. I'm not familiar with all of well before. They kind of have, in my opinion, a little bit of a convoluted, not really convoluted, but it's not necessarily clear. Let's check it. Let's go well before. They had a different name before well before, just so you guys are wondering. If you're wondering. All right, so they call it KF94. I wish they wouldn't do that. It's a KF94 style, which is fine. So I'm testing this version in white. That's the one that has the ear toggle. And then they have another one called the Welcome Series, which may not have launched yet. I know that they're saying they're just getting ready to launch the Welcome Series. It's right here. So this is the Welcome Series. Let's just copy that name so that no one gets confused. Oops. Oh. Nope. I don't know what just happened there. Let's try that again. Copy. Control Shift Paste. Why did I get 4479? Isn't that? Huh, weird. I thought that was the. There we go. All right, then we'll go back to this one. Let me grab the upstream concentration. 9229. Oops, where am I at? 9229. 9229. 9229. 9229. All right, there we go. This one is this version here, the one I go back. And I got this one here. Copy. Oh, we have to. Oh, I like how they spell welcome too. Ha 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 ha. All right, that way there's no confusion about what that is. All right, that one's done. So good masks. Way better than they've made in the past. So good on them for improving. You know, Botan went the one way. Botan went from good to worse, but or not as good. And then well before went the other way, from kind of like a kind of not a great mask to a damn good mask. Now and that pricing's pretty good. $1 a mask ain't bad. So now I guess I should just push them to be like, hey, go get N95 certified. Go put some head straps on those masks. All right, so this is the well before 2D. KN95. Oops, KN95 with adjustable. I gotta turn the generator on. KN95, boat shaped, as worn, black, ear loop. All right, let's see what we got going on in the comments section. So Alex B, if you're after some masks and you don't have a lot of money to spend, here's my recommendation. One, if you hit up, there's a free N95 handout that they used to have a list of pharmacies that offered them for free. You could call like CVS or whatever. There's that list out there. Just Google it, and they have like the thing, and then they'll port you to pharmacies that supposedly stock it. And I would just call them and say, hey, do you have those free government-issued N95s? And they'll be like, yeah. And like, what version do you have? And they'll be like, oh, we got the cup style, or we have the 3M Aura series. And then you can go pick up some for free. The Aura series is where I would always start. That's going to be like covered most people. It doesn't fit everybody, but it's like the most well-fitting mask that I've found so far that people like, and I would start there. Otherwise, if you're after like, if you're after ear loop style, Powcoms are super cheap. They're like they're like $1 a mask. Bnx is not too bad. These well befores not terrible either. Their prices are coming down. I think there's a lot of options out there. We'll test the well befores and see if they're as breathable as they once were, or more breathable than they once were. So that might be some good options. Otherwise, everyone else out there can throw some ideas in too. But I think for $20 you can get some pretty good masks these days. You can also get the Aura series right at Home Depot too. So if there's one near you, or a hardware store, and usually it's like $10 for a box of 5. Yeah, Good Manner. I'm trying to think what else is out there that's cheap. I mean, there's so many. Honestly, there's just so many masks. It's great. It's a good problem. So many good masks. Yeah, G Market's good. You can get them cheap on G Market, but shipping can be quite expensive on G Market, unfortunately. I'm trying to think what else is really inexpensive out there. Powcoms are probably the cheapest, honestly. They make a headband version too. Yeah, the cup style sucks. Yeah, no offense. You're not gonna offend my yeah. So Alex, the cup styles do suck. So maybe check out Home Depot if you're just or home improvement store. They might have the Aura series. Those are great. Powcom from Bonafide Mask, very inexpensive as well. But really, the answer is that the government really messed up the mask stuff. Not just when we're talking about masks, but the whole idea like we're going to give free N95s at your CVS, and then they just gave one N95. Like, this is the problem. Yes, I cannot give you one mask and have it fit everybody. It's the stupidest idea. They should have made a trial pack. We have the 10-pack of all of the masks that are available in our supply chain, and you get this little bundle, and it's got 5 or 7, 10 different masks in it, and then you try them all on, and you can go back to the store, and they'll give you that one, a free pack of that one. That is how they should have deployed it. Or they should have given the trial pack, and then you go online, and you pick your selection, and then they ship it via USPS, just like they do with all the free COVID tests. That's what they should have done. Because masks are something like shoes. Not all masks will fit everyone. Just like if I gave one pair of shoes, it's not going to fit everyone. It's insane. And they knew that. But that whole and they gave them too late in the Omicron too. Anyways, I could scream all day about that. But give me the magic wand. Let me be the boss for a moment. All right, let's do this one. All right, so this is the well before. Okay, also much more breathable. This one's not sealing very well, but I don't know why. I have a leak somewhere, but I don't feel like the filter media is that great. I call it 2021, so I don't know what's going on there. Not great. So quality control issue or what? Just check my port looks good. Okay, we'll put that to the port account side. Is it a fit or a filter issue? Yeah, 89, 94%. Not what I want to see. Hard to tell if that's a leak or not. Give it a second here. I will be taking a lunch break. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more masks to go. Let's get these done in this hour, and then I'm gonna take a lunch break, eat lunch. We'll come back, we'll do port account tests, and then we'll be done for another months on the end. Nanner asked, do I need to know what the concentration stuff means? Can I just look at the percentage? You can just look at the percentage, but don't read into the percentage too much. If it's above 95%, it's pretty good. If it's 97, it's good enough. If something gets 99%, we started getting into face fit for my face only. 2.886, sorry, 2.886 e to the 4. So, you know, it just means the filter media is really good. If I get 98% on one and 99 on the other, it could just be because of the face fit is not the same level of performance. So you kind of get stuck with that sometimes. I'll add this to my pile to do the port account on. All right, so I wasn't super impressed with that one. It could be, you know, bad quality control. Who knows, who knows, who knows? Let's move on to the next one. We got the well before KN95 Petite Regular. So one thing I like about well before is they're offering a lot of different sizes. They got Petite, Petite Regular, Petite Small, and they have Petite Extra Small, which is like a toddler mask. Historically, the breathability on them were all great, so I didn't really like that. Excuse me. Oops, I misspelled well before here. Oh, I put it. 2.757 e to the 4. 2.757 e to the 4. The mask is all over my keyboard. It's bouncing around. All right, let's try this one out. Small. What the heck? Well, I guess we'll port account them, but this ain't looking great. Uh-oh. All right, I called it at 727. It's bounced around a little bit. So 97. So that's okay. That's okay. I would like to see a little bit higher, but for the breathability that they give you, that's still pretty good. So that's not bad. I'm gonna guess they dialed down they intentionally dialed down their level there. They're not shooting 99%. They went for breathability, which is I think that's fine. 97 is good. Oh, dang it, what am I doing? Okay, well, that's okay. We can still get the upstream. .384 e to the 4. All right, so this one. Okay, so this is the same style, but it is the petite small. Oh, I thought I was gonna catch him again. It's like, you know what? I don't see the GB26 2019 stamp, and they do have it on there. They put it on the bottom edge of the mask right here. It's upside down for you all, but they do have it. So good on people for catching the standard. It means enough people like me have complained about it that they're doing it. Let's see. All right, 2.272 e to the 4. 2.272 e to the 4. All right, so this is a little kid's mask. I'm going to have to pinch the nose. Call it there at 366. So I'm guessing the other mask is getting a little bit more leakage. Yeah, well now versus well before. Yeah, I guess that is kind of an interesting. Yeah, like I was well before, and then COVID happened. Yeah, it is kind of an interesting. I didn't think about that name in terms of their brand name, but yeah, they were originally called something else. They were named after what's that? Jessica Alba's company. She owns a company like they're in Target and stuff like that. I can't remember what the name of her brand is. That's what they used. They had a name similar to that. Then they had to change it. So I guess they went with well before. Or it was like honest something was what their old company was. 20.12, 20.12. So, oops, that's not. No. 22.02 e to the 4. Yeah, actually, that's not too bad. All right, so it's about 98%. That would be my guess. I'm just getting probably some leakage on that other one. So let's go to the baby mask. Now I always love when there's little kid masks because these are going to be good for like toddlers and stuff. So first of all, good on them. These are way more breathable than their old versions. So good on them for fixing that. So let's go to the little kid's mask here. Oh my God, it's a little baby mask. It's a little tiny. Like look at the size of this thing. Where's my little Coke can? See, it's like little Coke can and a little mask. My baby stuff today. All right. Sorry, I'm entertaining myself with baby masks. Baby mask and baby Coke cans. LB4, 2D, KN95, petite, extra small. KN95, bifold. We're gonna do nose pinch for sure. Good, drop it. Oops. Paste it. Move it over. Jump over to here. 1.8740 to the 4. 1.8740 to the 4. Let's go. Put on right side up here.
Oh, that's a little baby mask.
That is so tiny. I don't know if I can even test this thing. Let's see. Oh yeah, we can do it. Oh, there, 461. 461. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more masks to go. Someone had a question about leaving their car, the mask in a hot car. You know, if they're in the original packaging, I probably wouldn't be too worried about it. If you want to be safe, toss them because, you know, like they're not that expensive. But I also keep spare mask, emergency masks in my glove box that have been there for a year, and I'm not really too worried about it. So I can't guarantee you that there's been no impact, but not enough that I'm worried about it. 1.68 e to the 4. 1.68 e to the 4. All right, so they're about 97%. So that's good. It's good. They're way more breathable. So for 97%, that's a good deal. All right, next up, let's hit the Cevus. We got some Cevu mask here. We got this adult. They have a kid's version of this, which I cannot test. It's too small for my face. This is the Cevu Meow. Meow. The Cevu Meow. Bifold, not a great design in my opinion, because the hook, it's the taper hook version, like the KF94 version. So this is the Cevu Meow adult. I don't know what rating it is. I'd have to look. It's a bifold. We'll do as worn for now. It's white. 1.599 e to the 4. All right, so this is like very thin, almost like surgical. Oh, those ear loops are not tight at all. So let's try that. Let's shorten those up. So it's like surgical mask material. It's very, very thin. And it's going to make it good from a cool standpoint. It's going to feel cool because it's going to be so thin, lots of water vapor. Maybe, perhaps, depends on the design exactly what they got inside of there. Let's try it. Much better on the ear loop. Tons of mask collapse here, so that's kind of annoying. And I'm getting a leak right here on the chin. Right here. All right, call it 310. 310. Not bad. Breathable. It's not. That is a mask that, again, I only do static single position tests just to make all my data consistent. That mask the chin would pop out. I mean, like, there's no way you're going to pass a fit test with that thing. The chin would just pop out. So, filter media is good, but again, I don't think the fit on that mask is great. And when I was talking about as we wait, oops, I don't want to do that. Let's just pop this off if we're going to do that. The hook taper that I'm talking about is that this mask has a shape that's a taper and then this hook shape. And the hook shape means that, like, it just touches your chin. Whereas if you had a taper on your chin, it'll sit under your jaw like this. When the hook, it just has a single point of contact. I have a little dimple in my chin, so I can, like, feel a slight little leak coming in and out along the seaming and the dimple of my chin. Is the material legit? Yeah, I think the material's legit. Well, I like to see the filtration efficiency a little higher, but it's hard to say in this test. 1.395 e to the 4. 1.395 e to the 4. Oops. So 98%. That's good. That's good. All right, let's move on. I got kids masks and a Hana mask and a bunch of other stuff. So we got the Cevu Hana. Now this isn't a small. They sent it to me as a sample, so I didn't pay for this one. It's the Cevu Hana small blue. Why did I get this? Kids are interested in colored masks, right? Cevu Hana small, and so these are FFP2 rated. And so kids might like these. It's blue, it's ear loop. It's got, and they use a nice wide strap too, just like the well before, in blue color. So and they have a lot of different colors. This is just the one I picked out of the bag. I think they had like a pink, mostly pastel colors. But that'll work. 1.324 e to the 4. Okay, I'm gonna have to tighten up the ear loops. 1.324 e to the 4. Oh, actually, it might work as is. I don't feel anything. Nose wire is good. All right, bottom out, like 177. So that's pretty good. Yeah, 98.66. Good. Really breathable. So one thing I noticed that I was wearing that mask is that when I breathed out, it felt cooler inside. And again, I think it highlights that the material structure here has good water vapor permeability. So it just like the moisture comes out. Now I want to see that same with this mask. I want to see how this one performs. Same with this. How I test that is breathe out and finish your breath and then wait and feel what it feels like at the end of your breath. Hold out. So basically have no breath in your lungs and try to hold it for as long as you can and feel how long it takes until your skin feels cool. It takes maybe like a second in that mask. So that little dwell when you breathe out and breathe in, it starts eliminating that water vapor, and so it feels cooler. I think that's important. 1.153 e to the 4. I don't know how you quantify that. I don't know if a good measurement. Probably you could have to have like a really high speed relative humidity sensor in there to try to measure that, or maybe you could do a test where you time how long it takes to, put 100% RH in the mask, and then time how long it takes to come down in RH. That would be maybe a metric. All right, let's finish okay, so we've got a couple other new masks that I have not tested, but they're just different sizes. So Cevu now makes a different kids mask. It's a kids small. So before they just had a kids, now they have a kids small. It's even tinier. It's like toddler size, which is awesome because, one, I love breathable masks. Two, I love small masks for everyone. So this is the Cevu. I spelled Cevu wrong here. So let's try that again. Cevu kids small, which is even tinier. It's FFP2 rated, I believe. I'll double check when I'm at. It is worn. It's white. It's ear loop. It is small. It is a tiny little mask here. So I love that we have like little toddler mask. Ooh, good nose wire. What always annoys me though is that kids end up with better nose wires than adults because they don't change the nose wire length. This nose wire basically is like, let's see if I can get it in. It's like almost 2/3 the length of this mask. You maybe can't see it in the video, but it's like most of the mask width is nose wire, which is better than the adults. Like I want my mask like that. I like when the nose wire goes all the way to here, because if I was a person with a taller nose wire, that nose wire would shorten up. And what sucks is if your nose wire ends like right here, you get a leak. You get a leak right here. And so you need that nose wire to go all the way on your face. I think that's why duckbills do good too. 1.072 e to the 4. All right, let's check it out. I might have to pinch the nose wire on this one, but we'll see. Oh my God, it's so tiny. I don't know if I can even, okay, here we go. This one's really tiny. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pinch the nose wire. All right, 90.02 is what I was getting there. So 99.16. So I bet you the Hana mask is on the same level. I was just getting some little bit of leakage. I'm gonna have to bust out my this on a few masks before we go to port account 10. So, I think based on what I'm seeing that Cevu is still using better melt blown than well before. So well before probably upped their game a little bit, but they kind of didn't go quite to the same level. So to get to that same breathability, they had to compromise a little bit of filtration, which is not ideal. All right, so we got 2 more masks, and then we'll do some quick experiments. Then we'll wrap up at around 2:15. I'll eat lunch, and then come back in. We'll do a couple of port account tests, and then I'll be done. I will then make a new review video where I give my top picks. We'll go through all that. So I'll have my top N95s, my top breathable masks, top ear loop options, fashion masks that are colored, so we get colored option masks, and then just kind of like that and cover, because I get a question a lot, and I'll try to give some summary. But it's still, even there, I just feel like there's still too many masks. And there are a lot of good masks now, 96.95 for that upstream concentration. All right. Yes, I would be willing to bet that Hana mask performs just as good. So let me put the Hana mask, where did I put the Hana mask? Let me put that one back up on the stack here. We'll test that again in a little bit. All right, next up. So we did the kids mask. Now we got another one. This is the kids L2. 0622. Cevu Kids L2. This is an FFP2. Let's just copy everything here. $96.30. We'll finish off here low, but it's okay. All right, pop this off. Color 95.1. So about 99%. So again, you know, Cevu so far to me in terms of the ear loop space is probably the best. They got the best filter media. It's just so breathable. It's V-Flex breathability on the same order of magnitude with ear loops, and then you got the Airwave. It's another great breathable mask. This will definitely make my breathability list. So it's gonna be like V-Flex. So cup style, V-Flex or the cup style, this one wins the best breathable. For duckbill, it's going to be V-Flex. For boat style, it's going to be Aura, because that's kind of the best that there is right now. For ear loop, it's Cevu. And for bifold, it's the Champac. Those are going to be your breathable masks. So I'll have this nice reviews thing like that, where we just give them out there and then and go from there. So I'll give my top picks. Doesn't mean it's not, I don't like other masks. There are other masks that are good out there. They're just 8758 is going to be the number. All right, so we're ending up at 98.97. Yeah, so that's good. But these are so breathable, like so breathable. Good job. All right, now we're gonna do the last one, the Product Labs. They make another one, so I'm all about the kids masks. I'm all about, actually I gotta turn my generator back on, but I'm all about the kids masks. Let's see how many people are still hanging around. Because you guys are you're all nerds. Oh my goodness, there's still 55 people. Y'all are nerds. So Madeline Todd says, mask ideas for just turned 2 with lowest pressure drop. It's going to be probably the well before KN95 petite extra small, or the Cevu kids mask small. That's where I would start. I'm trying to think what other breathable. Otherwise, go to my kids database too. I have a whole spreadsheet with kids stuff on there. If you go to the database that I'm doing it now, and if everyone wants a spreadsheet, the link's in the description of the video. If you click there, there's the kids mask spreadsheet. That'll take you to there. I'll add these when I'm done with it all, so I'll update that with the latest data. And I'll update the well before stuff too, because they're much more breathable. Which one did you look at? The well before? The well before mask I'm just testing today, I'm telling you, they're much more breathable than the past. So they made a big improvement in their mask. So well before it used to be crap, now it's much, much, much better. I do need a stretch break. I'm going to get a lunch break. So Alex B was asking about the Filter 95s. I tested them early in the pandemic. Good filter media, shitty nose wire. I'm assuming by now, so this has been almost like, it's been 2 years since I tested that mask, or probably at least a year and a half. Hopefully they've updated them with a better nose wire. Because it was a good filter media, just literally the shittiest nose wire was like completely useless. Yeah, they never claimed KN95. They just claimed they're filter 95. I agree. So if you have them, they're fine, but I probably wouldn't use them myself. Yeah, Alex, if you're unsure about if they're good masks, don't use them. That's my recommendation. There's so many good masks out there right now. I wouldn't question them. If you're not sure, if you're not convinced it's good, I mean, I haven't tested the filter in a long time. It's the same thing. If you can't put some international respirator standard on your mask, just move on. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to make sure, just toss them. There's lots of good options out there. You need a rated mask these days. KN95 is still not my favorite because it's a self-enforced standard, but KF94 is a little bit better. But yeah, I would not. I have no qualms about just tossing. 2797. Oops, for this next 2.797. E to the 4. All right, let's don the mask. I'll probably have to pinch the nose wire. Surprisingly, the ear loops are too long for me, though. That's a little weird. Okay, I'm gonna have to pinch the nose wire. This is the product. Called it 31.31. Gotta love those KF94s for just the outrageously high filtration efficiency. 99.89%. In a tiny mask. So, you can't knock the KF94s for not having a... I think it's more of a coral color. I don't know if I'm convinced it's pink. It's coral. Actually, I don't know what the technical color is, but it's kind of like a tannish pink. So I think that's coral. Sea coral. .438 e to the 4. 2.438 e to the 4. All right, I'm going to take a break. we're going to come back. We'll do some port account tests, a bunch of other stuff to finish this up. So I'm going to stop the live stream. Be back to do that. I get something to eat. I'm starving. So as always, we just do this for the data. But I enjoy y'all hanging around. So watch, I'll kick it back off in probably about 30 minutes. So everyone have a great afternoon. Got some more data in there. And yeah, it's a fun one. So we'll catch you all in a little bit, everyone. Okay?